So good morning students. So we are going to start new chapter for you, that is your nasopulmonary drug delivery system. So this sometimes we are calling it as also pulmonary drug delivery system. So it is generally it's a very old technique to deliver the drug in the systemic circulation. So previously different types of drugs like atropa belladonna are used by inhalation technique to suppress the cough. But nowadays, to overcome different types of diseases and to give a very effective treatment for the respiratory tract, we are using this type of nasopulmonary drug delivery system. So, particularly the patients who are suffering from asthma or any lung diseases need to get a local effect there as well as systemic effect. In these cases, we are preferring this type of nasopulmonary drug delivery systems, and at first we are preferring always intratracheal administration uh, for the most inhalation therapy, and in this particularly it will be the first approach, intratracheal administration for the long drug delivery system, in particularly in vivo technique. So although there are different types of challenges there by making this type of pulmonary drug delivery system, because uh, we have to take the drug delivery system through the nasal passage, so that's why we have to keep different types of parameters in mind, like different particularly when we are taking the drug delivery system from this type of systems, the administration will be like your phagocytosis. So that's why we need to make optimum size or particle size optimization. So that's why we need to take different types of drug delivery system by knowing the anatomy of lungs. So if we discuss about anatomy of lungs, it will be different. Generally, there are three regions divided for the drug delivery system. One is your nasopharyngeal region, or NP region we are telling as nasopharyngeal region. Then your tracheobronchial region or TB region, and alveolar region, and this is also a region we are calling as A region. So these three regions we are taking it as drug delivery systems, and with this, if we will discuss about nasopharyngeal region, it is the upper airways, we can call it as upper airways, and tracheobronchial region, we are calling it as central airways or conducting airways, and coming to alveolar region, it is also called as respiratory airways or peripheral airways, we are calling it as. So with this, these are the lungs anatomy and the regions where we are delivering the drug delivery system. So coming to different advantages of pulmonary drug delivery system, there are different types of advantages there. First one, it provides the non-invasive method for the delivering the drug, and it is efficient for the drug targeting to the lungs. That means that if there is any type of lungs diseases or respiratory diseases, it can be targeted to that place by this type of delivery system. Then rapid onset of action, means we will get a rapid onset of action as comparison to IV route, and it's quicker than the oral drug delivery systems. Then another advantage is it avoids GI tract problems like GI irritation, low bioavailability, poor solubility. This type of problems can be rectified by using this type of drug delivery system. Then your rapid drug disposition to the target organ, immediately drug will be distributed to the target organ, and it can be also easily metabolized, and also sometimes it will give lower systemic exposure so that it will reduce the side effects. And coming to, it is very safety for the patients suffering from diabetic and asthma, because these patients require a long term effect, long term treatment. And also it will prevent fast pass metabolism. If you are going through this type of drug delivery system, nasopulmonary, then it will prevent the fast pass metabolism, which will generally see in the oral drug delivery systems. Like that, so many disadvantages also there, like drug absorption may be limited, and difficulty in delivering the correct dose. Efficient drug deliveries of the slowly absorbed drugs must overcome by these ways. Then difficult for the administration, and lack of reproducibility, and it may be including physiological or pharmaceutical variables. So like that, different types of disadvantages we'll see in case of pulmonary drug delivery systems, different disadvantages. Now coming to what are the challenges we'll see while making this pulmonary drug delivery system. So coming to different challenges, there may be low efficiency. The first challenge will be low efficiency of inhalation system. Low efficiency means uh, generally if a particle size is more than that optimum size, then it is very difficult to deliver that drug delivery, and this can be overcome by maintaining the particle size, by maintaining 1 to 5 micrometer by the aerosol system. Next challenges is less drug mass per puff. Generally, if the dose of the drug is generally we are taking in milligrams, but the amount it is going through this passage is less, that around less than 1 milligrams. But if the dose is more than 1 milligram, then maybe it won't sufficient amount of drug will not pass through the passage and will not elicit the effect. Next challenge is poor formulation stability. Generally, if you see different type of asthmatic drugs, they are crystalline in nature, like some example corticosteroids, and they are high moisture resistance. So that's why uh, to make it stabilize, we need to go for different micro sizes of the particles, and we need to select different types of this type of drug delivered drugs, so that this type of problem can be rectified, like poor formulation stability. Uh, then coming to another challenges, improper dosing reproducibility. Improper dosing reproducibility, this is the main reason is that due to presence of different types of diseases and a problem in the devices and instability in the formulation. So due to this type of causes, we can call improper dosing reproducibility. Now coming to pulmonary drug delivery devices, what type of devices we are using in these drug delivery systems. The first one is your nebulizers, second one metered dose inhalers, or shortly we are calling it as MDIs. Then your dry powder inhaler, DPIs. So these type of inhalation devices or pulmonary drug delivery devices are used nowadays. And with this, first of all we will discuss about the nebulizers. So generally in these nebulizers are the particular type of devices which are converting the aqueous solution or suspensions into aerosol for the inhalation. So nebulizers generally it is changing the pattern of the solution or suspension into aerosol system, so that the drug will be passed to the nasopharyngeal system and it will be observed there. And generally the nebulizers will deliver a relatively large volume of drug solution and suspension, and generally the particularly we are choosing nebulizers where we cannot make metered dose inhalation or dry powder inhalers. In these cases only we are preferring nebulizers, and this will be known as one alternative system, but always pharmaceutically we are preferring MDI and DPIs. But in some cases when dose is high and we cannot make a metered dose inhaler, in these cases we are preferring nebulizers. So it is generally in these traditional nebulizers, they are not easily portable, or they will not administer a particular dose. So that's why we need to take it for more time, 10 to 15 minutes. But sometimes some of the drugs are only available as solution for the nebulization. So that's why uh, we cannot always use this type of nebulizers for all the drug delivery system as a aerosol system, because we need to give a liquid system, always we need to provide a liquid system, and for a longer period, in 10 to 15 minutes we need to deliver the drug. So that's why all the drugs cannot be delivered through these nebulizers, and these are the particularly inhalation solutions we are using for the nebulization. And one thing you have to know that this type of solution should be sterile, and nebulization solution are generally made of concentrated solution, and which are diluted before the administration, and this solution may contain your preservatives, antioxidants, and different types of other ingredients. Okay, so with this generally these nebulizers are specialized atomizers which generally permit the recycling of the liquid. So with this, these will provide inbuilt baffles to ensure the large primary drops are returned to the reservoir. So that's why we are calling it as, it will give a reproducibility. And nowadays different types of nebulizers came to the market in different mechanisms. It may the nebulizers may be have mechanism of high velocity airstream dispersion or ultrasonic energy dispersion. So different types of techniques may be possible in case of nebulizer. So with this is all about your nebulizers. In the next class we will discuss about this metered dose inhalers and dry powder inhalers. Thank you.